Imagine walking through a grand city filled with golden domes, colorful markets, and the sound of call to prayer echoing through the streets. Traders from faraway lands sell silk and spices. Artists carve beautiful designs into marble. Soldiers in shining armor march proudly by. You are standing in the heart of the Ottoman Empire, a place where different worlds met, where ideas, goods, and cultures mixed, and where history was written for over 600 years. The Ottoman Empire was one of the longest-lasting and most powerful empires in history. It began over 700 years ago and lasted until the early 1900s. It covered parts of Europe, Asia, and Africa, and ruled over many people with different languages and religions. It was known for its strong armies, magnificent buildings, fair laws, and rich culture. The Ottoman Empire started in the year 1299. A leader named Osman III began the empire in what is now Turkey. He was a Turkish warrior who wanted to unite Muslim groups and fight against the Christian Byzantine Empire. The name Ottoman comes from Osman's name. He and his followers believed it was their mission to spread Islam and bring peace and order to the lands they conquered. At first, the Ottoman Empire was small, but over time it grew larger as the Ottomans won battles and took new land. They were clever rulers, allowing people of different religions, Muslims, Christians, and Jews, to live peacefully under their rule, as long as they paid a special tax. This made the empire strong and diverse, filled with many cultures living side by side. One of the most important rulers was Mehmed II, also called Mehmed the Conqueror. In 1453, he did something that changed history. He captured the city of Constantinople. This was the capital of the Byzantine Empire and one of the most important cities in the world at the time. The city had strong walls, but Mehmed used huge cannons to break through. After he took it, he renamed the city Istanbul and made it the capital of the Ottoman Empire. Taking Constantinople helped the Ottomans grow stronger. They now controlled the key trade routes between Europe and Asia. Istanbul became a busy center for learning, art, and business. Scholars and artists came from many lands to work there. The Ottomans built grand mosques, beautiful schools, and lively markets. They became famous for their achievements in science, medicine, and architecture, helping to pass knowledge from the ancient world to future generations. Another famous sultan was Suleiman the Magnificent, who ruled in the 1500s. Under his leadership, the empire reached its greatest size. It stretched from Hungary in Europe to Egypt in Africa, and all the way to Iraq in Asia. Suleiman was not just a conqueror, he was also a lawmaker. He created a fair legal system that blended Islamic law with local customs. He supported poets, artists, and architects, helping the arts to flourish. One of his greatest achievements was the building of the Grand Süleymaniye Mosque in Istanbul, a masterpiece of Ottoman architecture. The Ottoman Empire had a strong and well-organized army. One special group of soldiers was called the Janissaries. They were taken as young boys, trained carefully, and became some of the best soldiers in the world. The Janissaries were loyal only to the Sultan and helped keep the empire safe and powerful for centuries. The sultans lived in huge and beautiful palaces. One of the most famous was Topkapi Palace in Istanbul. It had lush gardens, glittering treasures, and huge kitchens that prepared meals for hundreds of people every day. Inside, the Sultan ruled with the help of viziers, who were important advisors and government leaders. The Ottomans were also master builders and artists. They built cities full of mosques with tall, slender towers called minarets. They crafted colorful tiles, fine carpets, beautiful clothing, and detailed metalwork. Their food was rich and flavorful, with dishes made from rice, lamb, vegetables, and spices from all across the empire. Even though the empire was strong, it had problems too. Ruling over such a large area was very hard. Sometimes there were arguments over who should be sultan. Other times, weak leaders made poor decisions. As Europe became stronger with new ships, weapons, and industries, the Ottomans found it harder to keep up. By the 1800s, the empire was getting weaker. Countries in Europe took over Ottoman lands, and new nations fought for independence. The empire became known as the sick man of Europe because it was no longer as strong as it had been in the past. The final blow came during World War I, which started in 1914. The Ottomans joined the war on the side of Germany and lost. After the war ended in 1918, the empire was broken apart by the winning countries. In 1922, the last sultan left the throne, and the empire officially came to an end. A new country called Turkey was formed, led by Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, who wanted to modernize and bring new ideas to the land. Even though the Ottoman Empire is gone, its legacy lives on. You can still see its grand buildings, colorful art, delicious food, and traditions across many countries today. Its mosques and palaces continue to amaze visitors from around the world. The story of the Ottoman Empire is one of bravery, creativity, leadership, and learning. It shows how people from different cultures can live together, how great ideas can cross borders, and how history is shaped not just by battles, but by the art, science, and dreams of those who dare to build something bigger than themselves.